So it actually turns out that being lazy can actually help you grow on YouTube faster. When I first started on YouTube, I was a lazy person. I could not get most of my YouTube stuff done. I could not edit my videos how I wanted to edit. And a lot of this stuff ended up getting pushed off. And I would see all these other YouTube creators that were doing a lot of the great things, that were getting a lot of videos out. And I felt like I couldn't keep up with that. And I felt like if I couldn't figure that out, then it was not going to allow me to have any success on YouTube at all, or even get my videos up. But then luckily I heard about how a lot of the big time entrepreneurs, well, I heard this from one of the big time entrepreneurs. He said that a lot of people in his circle are inherently lazy. Like most of them come from a lazy background. And because of that, it actually ended up helping them in entrepreneurship. Because when you have that inherently lazy mindset, what you're trying to do is get your stuff done so that you could go back to doing what you actually want to do. So if you do not get that figured out, of course that can hinder you. But what they're talking about with entrepreneurs, and this also applies to creators, is that if you use this as a skill of doing natural problem solving, because when you're kind of a little bit lazy, of course, you're trying to figure out the simplest way to do things. And to do that, you have to solve that problem. So when you apply that to being an entrepreneur or a creator, what it's going to do for you is allow you to innovate. It's going to allow you to find the best ways to do things. It's not going to allow you to just work the hardest, but it's going to allow you to work smarter and not just harder. So it basically just took all that pressure off my shoulders, because at the start I felt like this was going to be the thing that really hindered me and took me back. But now looking back at it and being a little bit farther in my creator journey, I realize now that at the start it was pretty hard because I was a little bit lazy, so it was hard to even get started. But as I started to get my process down, I started to make it simpler and simpler, because I knew that I was not going to be able to stay consistent if I was just picking the first method that was the hardest method. I could not stay consistent with that. So now that I've realized that it's actually an advantage, I've started to do things a little bit differently. So let me just share with you guys some of the things that have helped me if you're a little bit in that mindset also. So the first thing that you could do is focus on progress and not focus on perfection. Because when you're focusing on perfection, it was just this super daunting task to try to spend months on one single video. I don't know how people do that. If you can do that, go ahead and do that. But for me personally, it was a lot of chips into one single video. And if that video ended up flopping, it would take me double the time to get back into the next video. So what really works for me instead is to focus on that progress, to focus on making improvements every single video. So what you're doing is you're not trying to make this perfect video every time. You're just trying to get a video out. You're trying to stay consistent and learn from each video while giving value to your audience along the way. So I think it makes it a lot more manageable, because you're not taking it all in one bite. You're taking it up into bite-sized chunks, and then every little video you put out, you're improving little by little to eventually get you to that one great video that you know you're going to have in the future. The second thing that you could do is find ways to make it easy. Now, don't just find ways to make it super simple where it's just basic, but find ways to make it easier for yourself. So you're basically finding ways to make your process easier for the things that you actually want to do. So for me personally, I don't like editing so much. So what I have to do is make sure that I'm limiting my time that I'm spending on that. I can't spend all these hours, because I will get bored and I will get annoyed if I have some obstacles come up. So every time I'm going to make a video, I'm finding ways to make my process faster. I'm getting a little bit faster with my editing time, but I'm also getting a little bit faster with every other part of the content creation process. I would highly recommend jotting down your process that you use for your videos, because when I used to record my videos, I would go over here and I would sit down and then I'd think, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this. And all of a sudden I'd forget something, or I'd forget to push record, and I had to do the whole process over again. And every time it would take me about like 30 minutes just to sit down and actually record the video. But as I wrote it down and I got my process down, I didn't have to think about that so much. It took that mental bandwidth off of my shoulders, and all I had to do was basically just sit down, look at my process, and then automatically I would know what I had to do. And now I could do it in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. And the last thing that I would highly recommend that you do is focus on getting videos out. And I know that sounds simple, but it's even a lesson that I need to learn over and over until I eventually got it down. Because at the start, we have so many things that we can focus on as content creators. But when I started really focusing in on just getting the videos out, I realized that everything else comes from there. And even Mr. Beast has said that everything comes from creating the best possible videos.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a creator. I want to make the best videos possible. This helps. And I believe as long as we're doing everything in our power to make the best videos possible, people will watch them. And I'm a lunatic. I think it will work out.
Because when I would split up all my time trying to do all these different things at once, automatically, I really got no improvement on anything. Like I didn't get anything done. I didn't improve on anything because my time was split up so much. So for me, I feel like I have to have structure. I have to have that thing set in my mind so I know what I have to do each day. So when you're focused on just creating the best possible videos, you know what you have to do for each video. You have to create the ideas, you have to script your video, you have to film your video, and then you have to edit your video and publish it. These are 5 things that you have to do. So if you know, I want to upload 2 videos a week, what you have to do, you know you're gonna have to do this 10 times. So can you split up these things, maybe 2 a day, every day for the week? Yes, you can. It makes it a whole bunch easier. So you wake up every day knowing, okay, I had to script a video today and I have to record a video today. And you can get up so many more videos because you're not focused on all these different things that you're trying to do. Everything revolves around creating the best possible videos. So when you focus on that one singular thing, everything else becomes simple.